All right, what's this episode about? Happy Monday, folks. What's going on? Day in the life of music.
Stuck with it.
I like that title, I think. Are we already at episode?
I was walking
This
my
is the
dog
Monday
one night,
series
and I listened to all 4 of our
shows that I'm doing. It's not
like back to back.
really a podcast.
And I called you and like, this is the raddest EP ever. We have to do it. And we did. So that was yay for us.
Happy Monday, folks. Today we're going to talk to a friend of mine. Kyshona is an incredible writer, artist. She's a great singer. She's just all around a phenomenal everything when it comes to music. She knows what she's talking about. She has a mission, a real concept in mind about everything that she does, which is something that I find is missing in a lot of art these days, a lot of music these days. Not to say that people don't have, a genuine plan of attack, mission for what they're about, but some people are just in it for fame or for the numbers, the popularity, whatever it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for people like her, people like myself, there are very real reasons to put music out there in the world, to be ingested. And she's got a very clear mission around her music, which we talk about. Let's talk about the fact that, she almost died. She has these incredible life experiences and family experiences that enter into her music in a lot of different ways. It's not just the content about the music, it's how she talks about the music, it's the presentation and the style. I really respect what she's up to, ultimately. And so this is an exciting conversation for me to share with you today. I also, I don't know, something about the way that these interviews, I guess, have been going. I realized, I'm not trying to interview. These are friends of mine, and these are people that I respect. These are conversations we would be having backstage. These are conversations we'd be having if we were in the studio together. It's the kind of thing that we as artists, as people, just sit around and think about, and so it's good for us to have these conversations. Kyshona and I got into a whole world of topics around just race and our nation and where it's at, and and it wasn't political, it wasn't charged, it was just visceral and real and natural. I talked about my kids, she talked about her life experiences, her health concerns, and literally almost done. I had no idea that this happened to her. It happened right around the time that she and I met back in 2018, and I had no idea. These are the kinds of things that you just find out about people through conversation. So I think I've called these things interviews in the past, but I'm going to stop using that word. These are just conversations. Again, this isn't a podcast. This is just a way for me to introduce whoever watches this to very real people, independent musicians, offer some new ideas about how we should be looking at music and listening to music and ingesting it as a part of our daily life. That, to me, is what is most important about this show and about what I'm doing here, presenting my music to you and introducing all of these ideas that go behind the creation of this art, not just for me, but for these others that I love and respect and really care that their music and their message gets out there in the world. So yeah, that's today. It's not going to be too crazy heavy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be there's a lot of laughs, and I don't know. It was a fun day. She came over right after Americana Fest. I saw her at her show, walked up. I'm like, yo, what's up? Come be on my YouTube thing. So she did an interview back during the Home on the Road series. Obviously, I've been doing this kind of stuff for a minute now. I just haven't really done a whole lot of consistent series episodes like I've been doing here lately. This is very hard to keep up with too, by the way, because there's a lot going on in the day-to-day life of this musician, running these 2 labels, raising 2 kids, so there may be a couple of Mondays missed. I'm just going to say it now, because it might happen. We got the holidays coming up. I'm taking time off. You should too. Don't be looking for this show the week of Christmas, I'm not going to be here. So anyway, that's coming. This is coming. I'm going to do this as every single Monday as I can. But yeah, we might be running some reruns or something if we have to. I think that's all I got for today. So thanks for watching. Yeah, this is Kyshona and me talking here at the studio. I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, you're prepared, my friend.
Yeah, prepared and or at least trying to be. All right.
What's that you're drinking?
Celsius.
Ah.
Yeah.
There you go. That's a lot of Celsius.
It's a lot of water.
Oh.
And then I just do like one packet, so it's not as strong tasting because I'm not a huge fan of the flavor.
I didn't know they made them in the.
Oh yeah, the packets.
Yeah.
You got to get the packets.
That feels better. I only knew about the cans.
Yeah, no. If you're gonna do it, that's the best way to do it because you can just buy a box of however many they come in. I think we get them at Costco.
Yeah, I do liquid IV usually, but
yeah.
Liquid
IV is the jam. I like those. Have you tried the LMNT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love that.
Those are great.
That's my favorite one, but those are more expensive.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Expansive.
Those are expensive. But I do prefer the Element. LMNT, yeah.
LMNT, however you say it. I think it's because you pronounce you say all the letters element.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's T.
LMNT. We'll go with it.
Yeah. I just saw you at Americana Fest, and you're promoting that release.
Yeah, promoting that record. We're just really focusing on continuing to tell the story. Even though it's been a year.
Yeah.
The story hasn't gotten out. The album isn't as well known as it could be.
100. Well, yeah. That's the
way of the world.
Yeah. The way of the world. The way of this industry. The stories are amazing, and I want to ask you about those. But let's talk about life on the road and life. Putting this album out. What that looked like for you? Is it attached to a label? Did you distribute that yourself?
So I worked with the distributor Soundly. That's who I was working with, and Soundly actually has just been absorbed by 30 Tigers.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, so they did distribution for me. Where in the past I've worked with Tone Tree for distribution, but then other than that it was me.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was nice this time to have a team.
Yeah. Is the record with 30 Tigers now because of that takeover?
We can edit this. I don't know where the record's at. Yeah.
We don't have to edit that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
That's the reality.
That's the reality of it.
Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw a thing. Halsey, that singer.
That interview.
Yeah.
It's infuriating.
Yeah. The fact that she can't. You're hogtied.
Yes.
In so many ways to those contracts. Have you been signed to a major?
No, and I've been very resistant to it because of that.
Because of those things?
Yeah, because of those things.
Same for me.
Yeah. A lot of people are like, why wouldn't you want a major label? In
the best of scenarios, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. There was a time when it would have made sense and been something, but especially with the Legacy album, and because the record is mainly basically my story, my family's stories, their history, and in some cases their voices, their music. Yeah. I refuse to give up ownership of that. Yeah. So, it's one of those where having to explain that to people of like, I come from a history of ownership being owned, my family stories, my family being owned. So I don't want to give ownership over what we have. I respect that. Right?
Yeah. Well, and that's a long and deep conversation too.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But speaking about like the current place of just the music industry and specifically in putting this record out and choosing whether to be on these labels and et cetera, that is a constant conversation I find I have to have with people personally, and it sounds like you do too, where you're just constantly explaining like, no, this is, that's kind of how it works. You're a slave to that contract. I guess I could have used a better choice of words, but I mean so let's talk about then the history and legacy of this album.
Yeah.
Because the stories around each of those songs. So what I loved about your performance is that you would tell the story before the song, which is common, but then like it was just such a cool, very obvious through line, and it didn't stop. You were carried through the whole show. As an audience member, I was carried through the whole show and the meaning behind all these songs. And the beauty of that is as you're going through these songs and telling these stories and connecting with the crowd too, it's not all just stories. It's like, some throwaway jokes and everything else. Like, you've got a great stage presence. It was awesome. I think it's the first time I've seen you play live, even though the last time we did this, back in the Home on the Road days, I mean, I knew I wanted to go see. I just never got a chance to. I haven't gone out a lot these last few years. I've got kids, but anyway, great stage presence, fantastic show. But I felt like I was. It almost felt more like a musical and a real storytelling experience.
Thank you.
That you don't. I mean, we don't get often enough anymore.
That's the mission behind it, is to be less of a performance.
Yeah.
And I always say that to the audience is, I'm not here to entertain you. We're here to have an exchange. Because I am often asking the audience to tell me things, to give me answers, to be vulnerable as well.
Yeah.
And, one day I see this being a proper one-woman stage show.
Oh, interesting.
Like I'm already doing it.
I think it could, 100%, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those where what I found in touring this record, even though my story is very specific to Black Southern family in South Carolina, formerly enslaved people, and I'm going through the whole line of how we've migrated up north but came back south. And as I stand on stages around the country, around the world, the amount of people that do not look like me, were not raised in the Deep South, that are like, I could relate to everything you said. That's the point for me. Yeah. Right? And so that, I feel like the way that I'm performing this, the way that I'm taking this project around the world, I want it to be a conversation, and I want people to walk away feeling interested in their own family history, and also introspective on what they've learned or reflected on that they have learned from their families. Yeah. Some things that we could probably lay down and not carry on. Yeah. Can we be the end to some of our family cycles? These are the questions I want people to ask. And if people show up thinking they're coming to a regular singer-songwriter show, that's not what this is. It's going to feel like therapy.
Well, I think, it definitely could feel like for someone who's caught off guard by that and maybe hasn't done any sort of exploration of those things. Yeah, I could see how that would be problematic for them, but not in a bad way. Yeah. It's going to raise issues, but it's not going to be an issue. No. If they can really because, I mean, what's beautiful about it, again, is that the performance is so good that you're invited into that experience. Like it's not just, you're not just like, all right, people, listen up. Yeah. It's hey, here's my story, and we're gonna do this together. Yep. And you came to a singer-songwriter show, maybe. Yeah. You might not know what you're getting into, but hi. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah. Here's where I'm coming from. Yeah. And I think that's just a beautiful thing. That's fantastic. Well, so I mean, as much as you want to get into that history, so you start out. I haven't listened to the record. I was there for the show. So on the record, do you start in South Carolina and that history, and then go through the move up north and then back? Is it in that chronological order?
It's in this order of like the family. Like it starts with the song Elephants. That is about the ancestors whose names are lost. So it's about the ancestors who were stolen from the Cameroon and brought over on the ships, and whose names are not documented anywhere. And what that feels like to be someone who can't quite be tethered to their family history past 3 or 4 generations, right? And that's the story of many of us that are Black and from the South. And so it starts with the ancestors whose names are not known. Then it goes into the great-grandmother, grandmother, grandfather. And then in the center of it is kind of me grappling with my own idea of legacy and the things that I've struggled through. There's a song on there called If I Move In, Who Am I? I can't remember the name of the song. That's crazy. I don't play it live often because it's a little bit too much. But it is a song that I grappled with when I got really sick. I wrote it right after a surgery that I had where the doctors had to tell me, you should not be alive. We don't know how you walked into the hospital.
Wow.
And to have a doctor, like, I'm making jokes about it, thinking like, look how strong I am, right? I pushed through and the doctor was like, this isn't a laughing matter. People are in the ICU and you're in a worse situation than they are.
What happened? What did you have?
So basically, after, of course, I was sick, I found out this runs in my family, and many black women around the country deal with this, but fibroids is what my problem was uterine fibroids.
Interesting.
And I had been sick. I had already had one surgery when I was 28 to remove some fibroids from my uterine wall, and then apparently they grew back tenfold, and so I had 25 pounds worth of fibroids that I was just carrying around. And they were literally sucking. They were trying to.
Wait a second. Did you say 25? How many pounds?
25 pounds worth of fibroids.
Oh my God.
Yeah, in my body that I had been carrying around for 10 years. Wow. And like for nearly 10 years. So basically my fibroids are trying to survive, and so they were taking all my blood. I had your hemoglobin level should be about 12 to 15, I think they say. I was at a 1. And I remember the doctors telling me when I was at a hemoglobin level of 7, they're like, usually people get a blood transfusion. I'm like, I'm fine. I feel fine.
I feel great.
I'm tired. Like, it was like, I'm tired.
A little sleepy.
Yeah, a little sleepy a lot, normal, right? Like I eat ice, sure. But something that you don't know, something that is hard for black folks to see is if we're pale.
Right.
And like, those are the telltale signs of like, you're pale, you're exhausted. Like if you're iron deficient, some people do tend to eat ice. So all the signs were there. But I was like, but I'm still moving, so I'm okay. And the doctors were like, well, she seems fine. She says she's fine. But when I went to the emergency room, it was at a point where I could not walk more than 20 steps without feeling like my heart was stopping.
Oh, wow.
So I would I was flying at this time. So I would leaving the airport, walk 20 steps and then have to sit for 10.
Oh my God.
And then get up and walk 20 steps and then have to sit. And I was like, I don't know if I can keep going like this. And I go to the emergency room thinking, we'll get something figured out. And
where
basically,
were you?
I was at, I made it back home to Nashville. And I was at St. Thomas Hospital. And I remember them taking my blood. And then they were like, somehow there's water in her blood. So then they go to take my blood again. And the emergency room doctor came running out. They're like, don't take any more of her blood. She has no blood in her body. That's why it's watery.
Oh, shit.
So that's that moment of no, literally.
God, you were almost dead.
I was dead. They literally were like, you should not be alive.
Wow.
Yeah. The doctors definitely had to say. The nurses were talking. ICU doctors were trying to figure out how I walked in there. And again, I had pride in the fact that look what I did.
Yeah, here I am. When was this?
This was 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018.
That would have been around the time that we met. Yeah.
Yeah, and I look back now. And I see how sick I was. But I couldn't tell in the moment, And the doctors basically had to give me 10 bags of blood transfusions. To get me at least to the point where I could have a surgery. So then it was an emergency hysterectomy that had to happen. And that was a grief. To be 38
I can't imagine,
and childless and not able to have kids. And then that sense of legacy of well, what is my legacy now? If I can't carry on in the traditional sense. Sorry, that was a lot.
No, that's a lot to process. Well, I mean, it's so much for you to process. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you being open. What an incredible gift that we get to be here right now. Just to acknowledge that. I'm a little emotional about that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that I love you.
Thank you.
We haven't seen each other in a long time.
Thank you.
But holy shit, the world needs you and people like you that can share those kinds of stories and make. So everything about what you're doing, this actually goes back to what I loved about experiencing your show and your music. And I knew this from before, from previous songs that I'd heard, but that story, those stories about these struggles, really just about these realities.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things that, we really do need to be talking about them, because so much of those conversations are being forcibly removed from our experience. I'm raising two boys, two white boys in the South, 4 and 7, and we're trying to, get them. We put them in public schools, hoping that there'd be, a mix of bodies. There's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
It is there. Well, I mean, my wife's family's from, half of them are from Mexico. So we went to Mexico earlier this year and got to connect with some of that history. Anyway, there's connecting with that heritage, and just not only your heritage, but really just the reality of the history, being a black person in the South. Having a white kid that grew up in the South, I grew up around here in Nashville. When I moved to LA, the experience that I had there of a lot more diversity in a bigger city, I always knew that was a problem growing up around here, that there wasn't enough of that, and I wasn't experiencing enough of that. It's one of the reasons I really wanted to get out of here. But yeah, I mean, getting there, dating black women and just becoming more involved in that life experience. One of my closest friends was talking about Lamar Williams, Lamar Williams Jr. When I was on tour with him, I did an interview with him for this thing, and I don't know if we talked about it or not, but we were touring around the South, and he wouldn't get out of the car at a gas station.
Yeah, certain places you just don't.
Because there was, I don't know if you've been to this gas station. I think it's on 65 South around Pulaski, because that's where.
I don't even stop at Pulaski.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
But there was I didn't even think about it, and I didn't see it. When we got off the ramp, I looked right, and I was like, oh, that's a Confederate Army museum, an historical site. And I was like, I'm gonna go left. So we went that way. But I was at the first gas station. He's like, man, get me a Coke and some Skittles.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't need to go to the bathroom. He's like, I can
hold
wait.
I will hold it. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's just such a weird, and to me, really, it's hard for me to understand how we're this far along in the future of that history, and it's still so present.
That's part of, I feel, the importance of, it's one of the small factors that played into me wanting to make this record.
Yeah.
Beyond me looking through my own idea of legacy, beyond looking at my mother and her dementia and how we might be losing that legacy, but also the fact that we're in a time where they're trying to not teach and choose what history the kids are learning, while the people who lived it are still here. Like, that to me is the most bizarre, is you can try to erase something, but when the people are literally sitting right here, when Ruby Bridges just turned, 70 something, 80 something, whatever. But when the people who are the history, you can have a conversation with them. That to me is maybe we stop looking at the institutions, we start talking to one another. If you talk to the people in the community, they are the history keepers. Yeah. They're the ones that have those stories.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the fact that there's so much that's the names of your ancestors being undocumented, forcibly removed from Cameroon, being brought here, and I think about, that definitely relates to right now. The only way you have that history is orally, is passed down through these generations, which I can imagine, just for you on a personal level, was a part of grappling with not having kids and being forced into a surgery where now you can't. Just that oral part, that oral tradition, where I find a lot of our Black community here does have a lot more of that. I mean, it's built into the culture.
It is, yeah.
Of, I hate that we have to address race in such a divisive way. Like, we have to talk about it in this way.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't agree with any of those divisions. Mm-hmm. It's really hard for me to understand, and I grapple with it. Having grown up as a white kid in the South, and not having a whole lot of black friends, it was just really hard to understand. What I was getting to earlier was, like, once you are injected into that, and it becomes more of your community, and you go, you just realize, like, God, there's so much inherent just racism in how we talk about and are raised here. And to see that now being spread everywhere, like it's not just here in the 60s anymore.
No, it's right now.
It's right now, and it's all coming back up.
Part of this, in the very beginning when I was starting to tour the record, before it was out, when I was touring these songs and starting to talk about my family's history, I sat there and I watched, because most of my audiences do not look like me. Yeah. They are elder white folks, retired, upper echelon, they can afford tickets to a concert, like a theater space, right? Yeah. And to see some people get uncomfortable by me just saying, my great-great-great-grandmother was once enslaved, and upon her freedom, and see people like, oh no.
We're not doing this right now, are we?
And it's like, but it's like, why are you ashamed? God. This is my family's history. Just like you have stories of how your family came over on a boat. This is how my family got here. Yeah. Sorry. And no. What hit me of, like, why it's very difficult to talk about, knowing that some audiences aren't ready for it. Yeah. But it's the 2 to 3 people that'll come up to me, and I've had older white men come up to me afterwards with tears in their eyes, just like, I never even thought about the fact that there are names you don't have. I never even thought about the fact that there's a loss of information, and the only way you have it is because someone told a story and then told the next generation. And that's what I want. That's my hope of what people experience in these shows, is the being able to zoom out from your own. We're all very egotistical in our own worlds, right? Yeah. But if you can zoom out and hear someone else's perspective. And even though I want to tour this record around Black audiences, I feel like it's important that I'm touring it in older white audiences, because they have not all of them have had to have this realization of what it's like to only be able to trace a lineage back. Of course, we're still grappling with things, if you really can see what another community is having to deal with and, like, piece together to have a culture. Yeah. Well, and the approach is a very good one, because it's art. Mm-hmm. Music is a way to express so much. And just like storytelling. Yeah. So when you pair the two and you have, like, a real genuine connection, the stories and the music, it's something that really does get lost. Like, you talk about major labels, I mean, you're not going to hear any of this shit in pop music, No. Well, I guess you have, like, Kendrick Lamar, you have people who are, talking about real stuff, more current stuff, whatever, but, like... but they're the outliers. Yeah. And there's so little of that. Yeah. Where if you stay in the folk world, I'm sorry. If you stay in this folk world, that's all you hear is people talking about what we're all experiencing. Yeah. But you're not going to hear us on radio stations. No. And talk for so. No. That's exactly my point. And it's So I guess the thing, all I can think of is when you talk about playing the audiences that you're playing. I'm like, well, that's who you should be playing for. Yeah. That really is the audience. Yeah. If we're because it's not our place to teach. The people that don't understand. Yeah. But we're kind of being put in that place. I say we, I'm including myself in that as a songwriter, but as for, like, that is your place in this world right now. There's that quote from Nina Simone, which basically is saying it is the artist's duty to this is what we do. We are the history keepers, and it is our duty to track what is happening in the world around us. Yeah. And that is why we make art.
Yeah.
Right? Many of us.
Yeah.
Be it the story of love and loss.
Yeah.
Be it the story of being an outsider in a certain world.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we are supposed to do.
Yeah.
I feel it's our responsibility.
No, 100%. I completely agree.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's music.
Mm-hmm.
There's in that the structure of music is based in storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
It's based in life experience.
Yeah.
And then there's entertainment.
Yeah.
And those really are two. They can be the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Music is entertaining.
Yeah.
And it should be.
Yeah. Next sentence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, but then you just have 24K, and that's fine. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it can't. It's the thing that gets dismissed if you're just focusing on the fun, which, again, like, we're in an industry where these labels and these businesses are propagating what sells the most tickets. Mm-hmm. And yeah, people are looking to have fun.
Yeah.
But I do think that there is a very real need, and not just like, people need this, like a very visceral, primitive need, just like those men that are coming up after your shows and saying, I did not see it that way.
Yeah.
There's a real need to hold that mirror up.
Yeah.
Man in the mirror. Like, Michael Jackson, for as popular as he got, as big as he got, there was some very real messaging in what he was up to.
Yes.
And
yes.
And so much of that in today's landscape is lost.
Yeah.
There's a thought that I had earlier, and now I'm hating myself because I forgot what it was because I went off on a tangent.
Oh no, it's fine.
But I'm sure it'll come. We'll come back.
Well, what you're saying though is so I grew up in South Carolina. Sorry, I have a bit of Hank's hair in my eye on my contact. Hopefully you can't see it.
I can't see it.
Great.
I was gonna say if you need to just.
I'm like trying.
She was petting a cat.
Yeah. I was.
My cat. Not just any random cat on the street. It was.
I was having a little moment with Hank the cat.
Hank Williams III.
So I'm just seeing a bit of his fur on my eyelid. But so growing up in South Carolina.
Yeah.
I remember when I would be taken to these like festivals around in downtown Columbia. There was always someone from the Gullah Geechee community there, which is part of our state's history. But if you're from the Low Country, that's like Charleston, Beaufort, right?
Hilton Head.
Yeah, all of that. And so there's a Gullah community down there that is still to this day holding on to their traditions that were brought over when they were stolen and brought here, right? And that's what I grew up seeing as far as what a storyteller was. Yeah. That's what I grew up singing as far as what music was. Even though we would be at a festival with, live bands, there was always a moment that I remember seeing someone from the Gullah and Geechee community telling stories and fables and weaving it in song. Yeah. And there was a thread, there was a lesson, there was wisdom. There was wisdom in what they were sharing. Yeah. And I think that is part of what I carry. Yeah. When I am standing on stage is me remembering that there is more to this than just this song. Yeah. It reminds me a lot, and I'm familiar with the Gullah and that community down there. We have friends that live in Hilton Head, and they were telling me about it, and I went on this huge deep dive into that culture. There's actually a documentary about it, isn't there? Or is it a series? I don't know. I saw some sort of a televised thing. A few, but there's one. The Wind, something. I can't think of it, of course, because we're having to. But well, it reminds me of. Yeah, put you on the spot. Can't remember. It's the same thing. Clearly, I'm forgetting things as we're talking. So, it reminds me a lot of Native American culture in that all of their the only history is oral history. There's whole languages being lost as a result of these things not being taught anymore. Yeah. The real culture of America has been so
divisive and based on just how much money we can make and how far we can expand this country, at the expense of everyone that started here, and at the expense of people we brought over, your enslaved ancestors. It's too. Again, I'm not gonna. We don't need to keep harping on this point, but obviously, it's really important for what's going on today in today's America, and I really hope that that people can just it's got to happen individually. It's got to happen at shows like yours, where people can start to identify with. I really need to be paying more attention to how we got here, and not just like what's happening now. I don't know. It's all so divisive, and the politics are what they are. But that history has to remain in some form or another.
Yeah, and it all ties back to what we're experiencing right now. Yeah. And it's taken. There are a few things for me. So I wrote, I have my mission statement, right, which is to be a voice in a vessel for those who feel lost, forgotten, silenced, or are hurting. So I'm always remembering my mission when I'm walking into writing rooms, when I'm standing on stages, when I'm in conversation. Am I being a voice in a vessel? And the thought went, this is 45. Voice in a vessel, mission statement.
Yeah.
And
well, can I just say, just to interject, it's rare. I'm managing 2 record labels right now, and I'm working with a bunch of different artists putting records out. Some of these projects are just little side projects that they're not throwaways. People are putting a lot of thought into these, but I'm forcing all of my artists to put more thought into the concepts behind these records, even if it's an improvised ambient thing.
Yeah.
Give me a reason.
Yeah.
Why are we putting this out in the world?
Yes, the why.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's good about having this mission statement, even though it's related to, I put 2 records out with this new mission in mind, the Listen album and this Legacy album. And even though the Legacy album is very personal, the story of it, I can always link back to whatever is happening in the news right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And sure, in the beginning, last year when I started touring the record, it was very much family history.
Yeah.
We need to hold on to our history. But now I focus more on the trauma and how it affects us on a cellular level when you experience a trauma. And so then I'm asking the audiences, what are we witnessing young generations experience right now? And the repercussions of that. If we're going to talk about post-traumatic slave syndrome, the books My Grandmother's Hands or The Body Keeps the Score.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you to consider what are things that you've been taught by your family, how to walk through the world, how to see the world. And then if you can do that and then look at what are our youth experiencing here in the US just to go to school. And then what are we seeing across the ocean with generations in multiple countries right now in war, and the youth and the children there. And how is that going to affect generations to come?
From now,
and to be able to zoom out, not many people can zoom out because they're so involved in what is in front of them, the immediate. But I'm hoping that this iteration of the show, knowing it might change again, depending on what's in the news, but I really want people to think about that, of how are you taught to see the world and walk through the world, and then what are we watching happen to the beginning of generations to come from all this trauma.
Yesterday, there was a police issued alert at one of my kids' schools. My 4-year-old is in a pre-K program just 10 minutes down the road. And Ginger, my wife, sent me a screenshot because she knows I'm not checking personal emails during the day. She sends me a screenshot of the first message that was like, yo, we're on lockdown. Everybody knows what to do. Kids are classes will continue, but we're just in an alert right now. And the police have asked us to lock all the doors. So we're in our classrooms, we're hanging out, everybody's continuing as is. Just want to let you know. What?
Yeah.
And then it wasn't that long after that, they said, okay, The threat has gone away from our area, so we're okay. But, and again, my kids are the age that they are, but they could be 19 in a college.
Yes.
You know, it could be any age. My oldest just turned 8. He was 2 and 3 during the pandemic. You know, the things that we're experiencing and how it's changing, like that, what that did for him, he's completely addicted to his devices already.
Yeah.
Plays Roblox because one of his friends, like who's sort of like a cousin to him, one of our longtime family friends, daughter got him into that because she was playing at like 4.
Yeah.
And my 4-year-old, he's just doing artwork. He doesn't get on his devices or do any of that. Like, I know we're doing the right thing in the house, but during that time, we had to let him on there's just no way to get anything done if you don't have a nanny in the house or somebody to pay attention to him full time. And my wife and I both were working through that whole thing. Yeah. So, the life experience of these kids now is already very much impacted by our technology.
So much.
And then the fact that like as a country, we're going through all of these problems with just violence and call it whatever you want, a very diverse array of issues. I think it's so important for us to just address those things, and I applaud you for the way that you're doing it, because I think that you're doing it the right way.
Thank you.
You can't just again, and you're not just putting it in people's faces and saying, pay attention here. You know,
I'm just telling
we
a
need
story.
punk rock too.
Yeah.
But you know, this ability to get in front of older audiences that are not of your background, you know, it's the right thing to be and the right thing to do. I find that my music, because my music is so roots based, I do a lot better not in white audiences, generally speaking.
Yeah.
It was just because that's the style of music that I play, but also I find that I relate better to non-white audiences, frankly, you know.
Yeah.
I don't play country music and I don't play pop. I play roots and Americana, and that is for whatever reason that's the audience. But it plays well to both. I'm not, you know, it's not exclusive. But I think that I'm wondering if that juxtaposition plays a role. I'm just thinking about that. Maybe that finding those audiences and having it not be exactly who you, again, maybe it's just that storytelling side that you're seeking out that type of audience because that's your message. Have you put any thought into why that is? Or is that just how it happens?
I'll be honest. This is a conversation that many of us Black artists have. Like most of us that are any kind of successful in this tier of Americana. Yeah. Balloons just popped up.
Really? Where?
I did that. Like on the screen. I did that.
Really?
And like balloons flew up. That was interesting. So I don't know if I did a gesture, but this is a conversation many of us have. We are so, like I'm thinking about my friend Chris Matthews, who is an activist. Like she says it outright, right? Yeah. But most of her audiences are older white audiences. Yeah. And for many of us, we're like, why aren't it's a whole other issue as to why the audiences we are playing in front of don't look like us. And that's when I think you're getting into a wealth gap. That's when you're getting into what is the venue doing to bring the community in? Do the people know that this place exists? So there's so many other factors as to why our audiences look this way, right? But 100%. Also, think something that we as artists have that is a gift is our ability to see many different communities in a week. Think from night to night. Yeah. I can play in someone's living room in a house concert, right, to a 250-seater like theater space in Portland, Oregon, and then to a small art studio in Eugene, and the communities and then I could go drive out in the middle of the desert somewhere in Baker City, you know, Oregon, and the vastness of people and communities that is. nobody gets to see that kind of America like artists do.
Yeah.
Touring artists do.
Yeah.
It's a privilege we have. And so therefore I think it's imperative that we stand on stages to tell these stories everywhere and then talk about what we might have just seen. Like this is how it was done in the old days, right?
100%.
Right? People traveled and they're like, I just came from such and such. And let me tell you, it's like it's like we're on horseback with the flag. Mayday, Mayday.
Yeah. You're making me want to go on tour again. I haven't played. I mean, I hardly play shows anymore.
But yeah.
Well, no, we need to talk about that. Like, it's something that's come up in these conversations a lot. It's just, are you touring? Mm-hmm. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Because it is very hard to keep that up.
Yes.
But thinking about the intention of the job, or just the intention of, again, just think about the why. Mm-hmm. Why are we doing this? If that is a part of the why, like this for me is a way, if I'm not going to tour, maybe I can find an audience through this where we can send some real messages, and that kind of thing. Really for me, that is one of the reasons why I set this whole thing up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that is, I mean, first of all, a self-awareness to be conscious that that's a part of what needs to happen for what you do. Mm-hmm. And also the awareness to know that, getting too old for this shit.
Yeah. Yes.
Feeling it.
Uh-huh.
I think maybe it just becomes important to then, go to the next level, like get into some bigger venues if you can, and try to gain a wider audience so that you can be more focused. Mm-hmm. And not have to be scattered out into audiences of 10 and 15, 250 people. I mean, that's what's exhausting.
Yeah.
Is knowing that the reception is still so small is difficult.
I've come to, especially with this legacy record, I've come to see that I don't want to do this particular show in a big room of people. It needs to be intimate and small. Yeah. Because I need to be able to see people's faces. Yeah. I need to be able to hear them when they say to me, this is the thing I've been carrying. So I want to go in 5 different directions. There is something happening in the music industry right now, in the touring music industry, where there is a tier of musicians that are being cut out. We're being squeezed out. And that is us middle class touring people who are like bigger than the 30-seaters, but not quite at the 1,000-seaters, right? Mm-hmm. We're like in that 500-seater world. We're getting squeezed out. Yeah. And it's a sign of the times, as far as like economically how people are feeling. Right. But something that I've been wanting to ask a lot of venues, because I know a lot of promoters and venues are struggling to sell tickets. Yeah. But they're leaning on artists to go on these devices to create commercials, to promote said show, when we don't live in that community. And that's asking an artist to use their creativity for something that is not their passion. Yeah. So then I'm saying, if I can have the wherewithal, and I don't mean to say this the way it's going to come out, it's going to sound harsh, but if I as an artist, for myself, and I'm training anybody that I'm mentoring, write a mission statement. Yeah. Who are you beyond this guitar? Yeah. Like, you've figured it out. Like, you have a story, you know your mission. You want, if it's not touring, then you've created this space, right? To help tell stories. Sure. So if I've had to do that work, of what is my mission? How do I want to serve the community? Can the venues do the same thing? There are some venues that are doing it. But if you're struggling to get people in the room, then maybe shift what the room means to the community. That's right. Right? Mm-hmm. So you don't, if you're only relying on the one artist that one night to bring in a room full of people, that's a lot of pressure. And a lot of us are still building a market. Yeah. But do people know that your space exists and it's a safe space for them? Mm-hmm. And is there more happening in there beyond music? Yeah. Right? And I think all of us in this world where, especially with arts, and I feel like the arts were the first thing to get attacked. When this new government came into play. Oh, 100%. Right? They were. Yeah, because absolutely. They know the power of what we do. Yeah, yeah. And so how are we going to pivot and show the community, like, even though still we're here and the doors are open for all? I just to speak to that too, from the very start of that point, I feel like
that squeeze started happening even prior to the pandemic.
It did.
Yeah, it's been going on for a long time. But yeah, it's even more present now. Hell, when I try to book shows now, the gateways are so high.
Yeah.
And relationships are important and all of that stuff. But no matter how many relationships I have, I'm seeing it, you know. And whether I want to play a show or not, you know, talking to other people that are playing or asking if, hey, can we do the thing over here? I know you know whoever. I'm like, dude, no, probably not.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's really interesting. That's another thing that people, I think, really need to know is that it you know, what's interesting is and I don't know how this relates, but I was just thinking about economy-wise, something I have said ever since I started playing music. Is you have to understand the music industry is sort of, if you look at the music industry and our trajectory, we've been 10 years ahead of the curve on our national economy. Yeah. Meaning like the recession that's happening here started 5-10 years ago for us.
Yeah.
In the music industry.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah. And then it just follows suit. Like it's, if you look back, and one of the reasons is because of how that business was founded. Yeah. You know, we're stealing stories right off the front porches of all these players. Yeah. My grandfather likes to tell this story about one of his cousins or somebody that he was related to that wrote an old 12-bar standard that was played. It was made famous by this Texas duo that were touring and playing music, but they were publishers, I guess, too. But they published it and they put it out there and it got credited under their name. Yep. But his cousin or whoever it was wrote it, and people would ask him in the family, like, don't you want to try to make money on that? Like, that's your idea. They took the copyright from you. They took the credit from you completely. But that's the kind of thing that was happening. That's how publishing in the music industry, and frankly, Nashville, as the music center of the world, got started. Yeah. And those, again, just speaking toward like your family history, you know, the history of Black Americans, the history of Native Americans, all of this stuff. Like, it's really important that these things are known. Yeah. That's also important that that people come together and join a community around those things too. I think that there's not enough, not only of like people not really thinking about their mission and their concept behind the work that they're doing. Yeah. But also artists not coming together as a community to fight for what we as creatives, not just as creatives, as creators, deserve. You know, like Spotify is one great example of everybody got fucked. Yeah, it's still happening. Yeah. You know, artists have the power to change that. Yes. But I don't think that they realize it. Maybe they just don't know that it's gonna take that sort of collective energy.
The conversations I'm having right now with other artists is we have always been against, not always, lately. Yeah. We are definitely like, we got to get out of Spotify and we'll pull our accounts, but what we do doesn't matter because ours are not the catalogs that can make an impact. It's the bigger artists. Yeah. But if you look at what's happening with the bigger artists, these legend artists, is they're selling their catalogs.
Oh yeah. That's a big trend right now.
They're out on tour right now at 80. Yeah. Because why? The music industry back then was not fair, or they, you know, like it's a like you're saying, we were experiencing these things before the rest of, you know, the world is experiencing, or our country is experiencing it. But knowing that we know things need to change as artists, at least in this community that I'm in. Which is why I've stayed in Nashville. It's the community of artists and musicians. But we also realize like the things that we do don't make a difference. We need the bigger names to be the louder ones, which is a huge risk for them because they are thinking about their own legacy. Yeah. And they're trying to think about their own estates. And so it's, I think it's a conversation I'm not qualified enough.
Neither one of us.
Right?
Well, but at the same time, like you're addressing the case in point. Yeah. You know, it's like, I think it's the same reason that, you know, millionaires and billionaires in this top 1%, 2%, whatever it is of this country, you know, they're not going to let go of that power and that control, because as soon as they do, it's a slippery slope for them. And I get it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to protect my family too.
Yeah. But when you see the power of the people, like what has happened when the people have said, we're going to divest our money from this business, from this company.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, I believe, personally have faith.
Yeah. I
would jump on that ship today.
Yes.
If I knew that it was a collective, and it's not even that, like, I have, with every record I put out, contemplate, am I putting this on Spotify or not?
Yeah.
And the only reason that I continue to is that it's one of the best advertising tools that we have.
Yeah.
But I know, just so you guys know, nobody's making any money on Spotify.
Nobody's making any money.
I've had millions of streams with some of these ambient artists, and the amount of money that we're making.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all coming from Pandora, Sirius, and these other platforms. But just in the last couple of years, all of that has shifted and changed so much. Pandora's almost completely defunded, as far as I can tell, because they're in competition with themselves, because Sirius bought them out.
Yeah.
And Sirius is in streaming now, not just in satellite radio.
Yeah.
It's really interesting how all these dynamics continue to shift and change, and not in a good direction.
And I was talking to a friend, Mary Bragg, the other night, and I was lamenting about how frustrated I was with the industry.
Yeah.
And how it's, like, the industry has ruined music. And she was like, I would like to shift that to say it's not the music industry that ruined music, it's tech that ruined music. And at that point I was like, okay, you're right.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And
well, in today's industry, I agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Post 2001.
Yes.
Like Napster happened, and then okay, well, I guess we're all screwed from here on out.
Yeah.
You know, even more.
And I think that's why and I feel like there is a soft trend of this. A lot of the folky, really independent ones are not putting music up. They're using it Bandcamp. Yeah, it's on the other things, but they're guiding everybody to their Bandcamp, because that money comes directly to us.
Bandcamp has seen a big resurgence lately, for sure.
And the audiences are learning it too. And what I really appreciate is it used to be in the beginning, I have vinyl, I have CDs. Somebody comes up, are you on Spotify? You know, and it's like, yeah, but you could also stream me, still buy that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have a record player, but you can still buy it.
Yeah, you can buy it.
You can buy it and hang it on a wall.
Yeah, do whatever you want with it.
Do whatever, but it's
gift it.
Buy
it and gift it.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's what I used to tell people when I had CDs and nobody had CD players anymore. I'm like, just buy that and give it to somebody.
Exactly.
So they have a calling card, and then let them pay it forward. Yeah.
And the thoughts of how can we take ownership back? And hence you have Patreon.
Yeah.
You have Bandcamp.
Yeah.
And I think for me, this is why too, I'm like, this is why I enjoy touring, is because I know most people aren't going to find my music on the streaming things. So, but if I show up in your neighborhood, if I show up in your town.
Yeah.
So there's that thing of like, we have to run ourselves ragged in order to get the message out. But it's got to shift and it's got to change. And I feel like we're all on the verge of just going back inside.
No, 100%. I mean, well, that's the whole thing, is like, the only thing I like about technology, and I've put a lot of thought into this. I took a long break from really putting myself out there as a musician and just went into releasing these ambient records for about 5 years, until very recently. And I've got this EP coming out now, and these singles I'm dropping finally. Big catalog. I never stopped writing and producing. I just stopped putting it out there. It's like, where is it going to go? What am I going to do with this? I'm not touring. I don't know yet. And that's really where this YouTube thing came from. One of the other reasons it came about. And to your point with Bandcamp, I think YouTube is a great tool.
Yes. Because
it was the second most used search engine before Google bought it. It's probably the first now.
Yeah.
You know, those are the kinds of tools, if you can get savvy with them as musicians.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that maybe I need to be educating people on, because I now have a pretty long business history with advertising and marketing, with all the production I've been doing.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to educate up-and-coming artists to these facts. Like, but also, So for me, the way technology can work is the same way that like the Grateful Dead, they're the reason we have newsletters.
Yeah.
They started their mailing list.
Yeah.
Like literal letters they mailed out to hundreds and hundreds of people. Mm-hmm. When Ticketmaster came around, they were one of the only artists that was actually able to negotiate a deal with them.
Because they had a relationship with...
This is our audience. You're not building an audience for me.
Yeah.
What are you going to give me?
Yep.
And that's the kind of power that you can get from getting out there, pounding the pavement, and really doing a show that is going to gravitate people. Yeah. But there's a lot more people in the world now.
There's so many more people.
There's a lot more technology in the world now. And I think that's the one thing that technology can do to benefit us. And the music and the message and the importance of this history is to leverage the technology for those things. There's a couple of great artists, Wells something, what's his name? The folk guy that's all over Instagram. He's got millions of followers. He was just at Americana Fest.
Okay.
He played the Exit In.
I know you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't.
What's that kid's name? It's great.
Wells.
It's Wells something or something Wells, James, I think.
Jesse. Yes.
I don't know. Maybe
Jesse Wells?
Is it Jesse Wells? I don't know.
Something like
it's
that.
probably
I think
not.
that's it. I think that's it. I will grab my phone, but I refuse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, it's fine. People can figure it out, and they probably know it already.
Yeah. They're correcting us.
Yeah. Point being, like, that's the kind of artist that I love that he's doing so well on social media.
Yeah.
Because those are the kinds of things I really think that I know there's an audience for that.
Yeah.
For these messages and for really talking about these things and including them in the conversation, the history and the race and all of this stuff that's so important to our modern day America and everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing I think that technology can be used for from a leverage standpoint. But again, just like with touring, there are these paywalls.
Yeah.
These gateways, and it's really hard to I mean, it's hard to produce this content. It's hard to keep these shows going weekly.
You literally said, I need somebody, I need
someone doing all this stuff because I'm doing all the production myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's hard to just produce social media content.
Yeah.
Those little videos where like you're playing a live cover of something. I mean, how many takes is it going to take to make it look like one take?
Literally, this came up in a panel. Yeah, this came up in a panel at Americana Fest, which I really appreciated, and I felt like I was given permission to step back and take a break. It was with Tiff Merritt, Blair from Basement Records, and Susan Hamilton was a publicist, and Tiff Merritt's manager. And they talked about how social media is no longer social media, it is now entertainment.
Yeah.
And the way that helped me zoom out, and finally they said the thing of like, why we are asking artists to create content, but what they need to be doing is living life so they can have more things to write about.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to, especially now, how fast social media has changed.
Yeah.
All it is like knowing now, I can post about your show, but also I know the reality is not everybody's going to see that because there's a shadow banning thing that happens. They want you to buy ads in it. And if we can look at social media now is, the people that get discovered in social media is just as much of a star, like one star out of thousands, right? Like it's hard to be that one that can rise above. Hence the reason I'm always saying, especially now, if you know your purpose, what mission are you serving?
Right.
Then it does not matter who sees it, how many people see it. The way that I use my mission is, did one person walk up to me afterwards and say, I felt impacted? That meant I was being a voice in a vessel for those who felt lost, forgotten, silenced, or hurting. So being able to not lean on technology, use social media as a way.
Use it 100%.
Yes, use it, but to talk about the other things you're interested in and not letting social media be the thing that steals the joy of the art we create.
Oh God, if you're producing social media to make social media content, it's completely disheartening.
Yeah.
And to speak to what you're saying, for me, that's authenticity. Yes. You know, it's just a use of another term. Mm-hmm. But, you know, to tie these ideas together, like, I'm not saying social media is a good tool it's just a communication tool.
Yeah.
It's an advertising tool at the end of the
all
day.
It is. We're all advertising.
But in order to succeed in any kind of advertising and marketing, you have to know your voice.
Yes.
You have to be authentic about that message, because otherwise you're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And the only problem that I have to add to that statement is the entertainment side of, again, it's really just fighting the algorithm of social media.
Yes, it is.
Is like, no artist should be doing these bullshit TikTok challenges. No. I'm sorry, I know a lot of these artists that do that. That's not being an artist to me. When you put your song out, that's where the communication needs to be. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, I think that's going to be an uphill battle. I don't know that you can fight that. No. But the one thing you can do to leverage the technology again is to just use it for what it is. It's the only reason you should be putting music out on Spotify is if you're still trying to be found. Yeah. Once you're found, get the fuck out.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you should. Yeah. That's what you should do. Yeah. Use it for what it is, and then stop competing with AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. I have these stickers. I have that brand. Listen to music, not AI. Yes. You can have it. You should take it.
Thank you.
I've got a few. But like that's the whole point of that. Yeah. I put that together a few years ago. As soon as the writers went on strike.
Yeah. You knew.
Yeah. I was like, we all need to be talking about this.
And what happened with the writers' strike was the prime moment. What could have happened with musicians, with the artists, and it was one of those, like, we're all like, this is it. Is this the moment?
Dude, yeah. But me and you were there.
Yeah. Yeah, we were. Yeah,
Some of our friends. Yeah. But not everybody.
No.
Because even like your younger ones, like Taylor Swift taking her stuff off of Spotify. I mean, honestly, I'd need to meet and talk to Taylor about her decision in that.
Yeah, and who else could she convince to do the same? You know?
Well, but I wonder if there's it can it be based on the same reasons that you and I would come off of Spotify? Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
I'm not going to make any assumptions about why she would do it.
Yeah.
But I do. But that's my question.
Yeah. They're business people in the end, so it is like, it's a business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why, you didn't hear the Beatles on there for a long time. Mm-hmm. Beatles cut a deal. Yeah. It's the same reason. This is why I talked about Grateful Dead earlier. Yeah. They cut a deal with Ticketmaster. Mm-hmm. It's probably still the same deal. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know, man. Shit. Well, let's talk about. Let's get off of this, because this is we went deep. I'm just gonna say I love you again.
Thank you.
You're such a joy to be around. Well, let's talk about personal. just real quick. Yeah. So we talked about everything. Do you have a record that you're working on now, and something in the works? No, nothing you need to like plug or promote or talk about. You're touring, you're playing shows.
Yeah,
people should be looking for that.
And this is funny to me, because like I think it was 6 months after I released Legacy, people are like, so what are you working on now? I'm like, I'm still with the first baby. Like, I'm trying to figure what do you mean? This child is still important to me. She's not even 2 yet. Mm-hmm. So I'm like,
I love that.
What I've done is I have gone in and I've done a live recording of a lot of the songs from Legacy with the stories included.
I was going to ask, that was what I was going to say earlier. Mm-hmm. Have you thought about doing a live record for this?
Yeah, we did a simple version of that, and we videotaped.
Okay, good.
We recorded a lot of it. That's my age, late 1900s. Yes. We videotaped it. I was born in late 1900s. But like we went into the Blue Room Studios, Moraine Music.
Oh, nice.
They're a publishing company. So we went into their studio, very kind. Worked with Charles Yingling, and it was me and my vocal trio. Yeah. And we performed most of the songs that are on the set. Mm-hmm. On the record, we performed it like we do, and I told the stories right before, and then I had some string players, Kristen Weber and Larissa Maestro, join me on 3 songs at the end of the record. And it's funny because it's just released this past Friday. It just released in the UK. So that It's in Europe and the UK is where we released that, but it hasn't been released here yet. And it's been interesting to release both the legacy album and the live album like side by side in Europe, and the love it's getting. Yeah. Not the same love it got here. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure that out. Like I leave for Europe. I'm going on a European tour next month. Okay. And I'm interested to see what that reception will be. Yeah. Because I think that'll say a lot more about the value of our voices and our stories in our own country versus in other places. I mean, I've always felt that there's a much more receptive audience for storytelling and for just roots-based music. Yeah. Something with some real dirt to it, you know, that's more weighted than just this airy pop stuff that comes out here that we pay so much, that our, you know, community pays so much attention to. It's so much better reception in anywhere in Europe. Yeah. A lot of Northern European countries. Where are you touring? I'll be in the Netherlands, Belgium, and the UK. Yeah. And it'll be my first time in Belgium. We did the Netherlands last November. Okay. And performed a lot of the songs from Legacy then. Yeah. And it was my first time there. And I remember my first show, I had Ellen Angelico with me on guitar. And our first show was on a ship in the base, in like the hull of the ship, a really dope venue. It's called V11, Vessel 11. Dope venue. They treat you well over there. But this is why I think artists are so important, how we move through the world. I was amazed at how young the audience was and how diverse the audience was. And it was like from people in their early 20s up to people in their 70s. All races standing in front of us in the Netherlands. Yeah. Standing, not sitting. Standing. At me doing my stories just like... and I invited conversation just like I do here. And I love touring this album because I get stories of communities that I would never know. Right. And I had a woman who was like a friend of the venue owner. She took me on a little walk after our set. She was like, let me tell you a little bit about our history in the Netherlands related to slavery and what has happened with, like, their king the week before had just apologized for the role they played in the slave trade to the Caribbeans. Oh, wow. Yeah. And before like, your show? The week before? The week before the show. Oh, wow. And like, to me, even though I understood, Aruba is right. Holland, okay, cool. Yeah. But not realizing, there's this contention here as well, but their ability to apologize for the wrongs that they've done and want to make a right. We don't do that mess here. No. Right? But then I learned a whole other side of history about the Netherlands that I never would have learned if I wasn't telling these stories and putting yourself there. Yeah. And every room that I went to on that run, to see people from a completely different country have the same reactions as the people here. Yeah. When I'm asking them to think about their grandparents, their great-grandparents, how are you viewing the world? Yeah. What is your own legacy going to be? Yeah. It's like, this is a human story. It really is, yeah. You know, and I don't remember how I got on this, but yes. Europe. How much better it is, yes. And there's versions of that here. Oddly enough, like Northern Alabama, I've played a lot of shows there, and it's not a very diverse audience. But it's a very educated audience, like in Huntsville. I was just there last week. I love that. And in Muscle Shoals, Florence, there's some real, I mean, you know, like Florence is full of people that are other musicians that have toured and played and seen the world and come back and are bringing, you know, investing in their community. You know, that's something that I find it creates a different characteristic in people. Yeah. Is people that are part of a real community and invested in that community. People are still people. People are still people. You know, I have faith in people. I think I do. It's the systems. I think that's important to say. Yeah, there's systems in place that force us to move away from these real primitive and visceral life experiences that I know we all still connect with. Yeah. I have faith in that. Yeah. 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 And if that's like the small part I play in my little blip on this timeline of the world, it's like, all right, well, for a minute, there was a blip of somebody trying really hard to get people to zoom out and remember human interactions rather than us versus them.
Yeah. Well, I love your stuff, and I really hope that we can introduce it to some more people through. I mean, this is my own little thing, but like I can't wait to see where it goes. I really feel like your stuff is it means a little too much, in my opinion, for it to not continue to just have its trajectory.
That's kind.
There was a songwriter, and I would never even be able to guess her name right now. It'd be just a jab in the dark. But I met her at a songwriting conference, and she was freaking hysterical.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful writer, beautiful soul. And she had this musical. She just passed away this past year, like right after I met her, actually. But there's a musical that's on Broadway, or maybe off Broadway, that's about these two girls that are in high school, and one of them is a lesbian and knows it, and the other is a lesbian and doesn't know it.
Yeah.
And it's just their story of like going through school together.
Ooh.
And how that dynamic works. And her writing behind it is just incredible.
Yeah.
But it's a real life story that people can connect with, that relates to, some of these things we're talking about today, and sexuality and all of that. It's really honest. It's really visceral. Really cool. I really want to go see the show.
Yeah, I want to.
But it makes me think, just like how I believe that your show, this album deserves like a real, well-produced video side to it.
Yeah.
A live album side to it. But also like, it could be a theatrical production.
Yes, that is my 10-year goal.
Okay.
That is my 10-year goal. I'm say tracking. 10 years to give me, but
sure.
I need the time. I need to get off the road.
Yeah.
And I even talked to my agent about that. Like, I would love for it to be a stage play.
Yeah.
Very similar to Memphis, the stage, like the musical Memphis, right? But I would love for it to be a stage play. But also, I know that it needs to go in levels. So I feel like stage 1, I did. This is stage 2, where it's this, like what you experienced of the storytelling, like a one-woman show. But then I just need to find the people that understand theater.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there knows anything about theater and writing musicals, like that's something I want to be able to do.
My collaborator on my EP, Shane, has written a musical, I know. But maybe I can introduce you to some people.
Love that.
Because I have just a lot of friends from LA and that are in New York now on Broadway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll put some thought into that. If there's any way I can help, I would love to, because I'd love to see it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I know it's important for me to travel this to different small towns, but also I know if there was a way for me physically to still get the story out without running myself down to the ground and sacrificing my own family time and mental health.
Well,
that would be great.
Yeah, I understand. I totally hear that. I think that's a way for that legacy to live forward.
Be a legacy.
To be a legacy is to turn it into a production that you don't necessarily have to be on stage for every time.
Nope.
God, that'd be great. Yeah, I have a friend at TPAC here. Maybe he can introduce us to somebody that's here, that's local.
Just show me how to workshop it.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna put some thought into this.
I like it. I'm learning. You got to say the things that you're dreaming and wanting. You got to say them out loud, because you never know who the person you're speaking to might know.
100%.
Yeah. Or if they can even help. I'm learning that. Yeah. So thank you.
That's an important thing to know and to act on. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming and doing this and hanging out. Yeah. That's good to see you.
Thanks for letting me hang.
Yeah.
And hang out with Hank.
That's right. Come to the house. Yeah. Maybe we'll go out and say hi to the dogs before you go.
Yes, please. Absolutely.
That's great. Yeah. Well, anything else you want to cover?
Yeah, sure. You can go to Kyshona.com for any information on where I'm playing or what else is happening. But also, aside from this work that I do with Legacy, I have an organization called Your Song. We do therapeutic songwriting, with communities around the country. So people in recovery, working with youth, working with women or men experiencing incarceration. I take my music therapy background, because I am a licensed music therapist, but I take my music therapy background and bring it into these spaces and help them find their voice and tell their story to help save the next person. So go to yoursong.org and you can donate.
That's right.
To the cause.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
You feel good?
I feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel great. Yeah.
Cut. Let's call it done.
Yeah. Hank's hair is out of my eye. We're doing great. It finally got out of there. Yeah.
All right.
Let me go meet the dogs. I'm going to hit stop.
Hit that button. Okay. Thank you so much again for checking it out. Like, subscribe, do all the things. Share it with a friend. You know, if this is the kind of content that you enjoy, maybe your friends will enjoy it too. And it's a great way to spend the time, pass the time, put it on in the background, listen to it, and hear a conversation between two artists trying to get a message out there, doing the thing, you know? Thanks for watching. On Substack, if you want to subscribe there and contribute to the cause. We talked a lot about independent musicians and the independent life of music. I'm potentially going to be putting this EP that I've got trickling out here on vinyl. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Just trying to figure that out. Anyway, be on the lookout for next week's episode, and I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.